All right. So, welcome everyone to our second session of Trophy Gold, the Source of True Purpura. My name is Sam Zimmerman. I use he, him pronouns, and I will be our game master for this evening, exposing these other three poor souls to the horrors that are the wonders of ink making and paper making. So why don't I have our players introduce themselves? Why don't we go Kyle and then Dan and then David?
I'm Kyle, he, him. I'll be playing Kiva, the Ranger and Defrocked Priest.
I am, I'm Dan Pusel. I'm a technical theater educator in North Texas, and I'm going to be playing Orlen. Let me see here, who is a lockpick and also a disinherited noble.
I'm David. I'm going to be playing Masero, who is a antiquarian who used to be a hapless peddler. Has some strange armaments, probably from his sordid past.
Sounds exciting. What are Masero's pronouns, real quick?
I think Masero is he, him.
Okay. So for those watching at home, we have already gone over our cats. We have already gone over our safety tools. We will be using the X card. We will be using lines and veils, and we will be using the open door policy. The last session finished off with our Orlen and Kiva standing on the edge of a lake of multicolored inks that were swirling and mixing together before flowing out into these individually colored streams that flow back into the forest behind you. The lake itself is set in a bowl of mountain ridges that kind of flow down around you. In the center of the lake is a small peak, almost like a little tiny version of the mountain that stands behind it. And you can see figures moving about on the surface of this peak. The water or the ink in the lake is fed from a massive waterfall that is coming down out of the side of the mountain behind it. And you guys had just noticed a boat that was set kind of off to the side, a little hard to see from where you originally got here. But now that you've come down and Kiva has already fallen into the lake, you can definitely see that this boat is kind of set off to the side. Masero, why did you build this boat?
I built the boat to try and learn how to do anything in the water or water-like substances, because that's part of my drive is a desire to finance an expedition into the blossoming sea. But I don't think I know the first thing about like traveling by boat or anything, so I figured this would be a great place to start.
Yeah. And so you're putting the finishing touches on this small watercraft, and there are two other adventurers who have showed up. Did you come here alone, or were there others that came with you?
So where are we in the world? Is it like a very remote place?
So this is a hidden valley that very few people know about, and the two of them only found out about by chance. And the rumors are that anyone who manages to find the source of this river and get out alive will be rich beyond imagining.
Okay. I think I came here alone then.
Okay. So you're out here looking for money, trying to finance this expedition. You don't want to share it with anybody.
Yeah, it would be you'd have to be rich beyond your wildest dreams to finance an expedition into the Blossoming Sea.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're practically hiring a crew of competent suicidals if you're going into the Blossoming Sea. So costs a lot.
Yeah. So I will remind everyone that the set goal of this set is to discover the nature of the mysterious activity on the island. And so at any point, you guys can pool your tokens together and spend 3 of them to achieve that. In the meantime, as Kiva is kind of recovering herself on this lakeshore, what is Orlen up to? You've noticed this other figure. You've noticed this boat.
I think Orlen is, well, I would imagine would go over and say hello. We haven't seen people. I mean, we've seen something like people, but not like people enough to speak with them. And I think Orlen would want to see if this people is a type of people that is okay to speak to.
Yeah. This is a strange people. This person, this guy has like just wooden slats just painted down the front of him. Kind of like I'll have to pull a picture in a sec, but it's like that scene in Hook, the movie, where there's the little lost boy and he's got like the bamboo armor on all down his front. Looks like that, and he's got a big metal pole with like a hook claw thing on the end of it, and he has a strange boat. The boat has like weird little like it's got like a central piece that you could like sit in, and then like a cross beam with 2 little floaty things to like keep it level. But then on the 2 little floaty things are like 2 little bitty sails. Like that's actually going to accomplish anything. Either this guy knows something that nobody else knows about sailing and boating, or he knows nothing about sailing and boating. And he doesn't see you, and he doesn't seem to see you coming, so he's not particularly competent in that way.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, being a sort of a naturally sneaky person, I think Orlen is going to announce his presence and notice the boat. If it could be a boat. Those sort of seem like pontoons. We need to get to that island over there. You have a boat. How are we going to settle this up?
Oh, he just sneak up on people in the middle of strange places, just sneaking up. Okay, well, that's all right. You know, yes, it is a boat. It's a special kind of boat, and I've studied such things in paper and parchments and scrolls. It's possible they weren't quite like this. In any case, I suppose we could parlay.
All right, paper man. Let's parlay. First, I think my friend is fell into ink and is not doing well.
Well, in ink, do I know anything or any rumors about the ink, or is it just like it's just ink?
So you probably have had some experience with the ink in getting this far, since all of the rivers and water of this valley are this kind of bubbling, oozing ink. What color did you encounter, and what did you do when you encountered it?
I think, what color ink did I encounter? I think I encountered like a green ink, which is a lot of things that are green out in the world, but green ink is pretty distinct because of how it runs and it stays. It doesn't, it's not just like a plant that is clear on the inside. It's actually
Yeah.
really
So you've
solid.
got this. You found this river of green ink that flows very swiftly, swifter than it really should, with how flat the ground was where you found it. And it is constantly frothing and coming up in almost like spikes that don't follow the shape that waves are supposed to follow. But you were able to follow this river back up and find this valley. And so what did you do when you encountered the ink?
I think I used my little hook hand on the end of the pole to like get a jar of it, and then pulled it close and like stoppered it.
Yeah, so I love the idea that if you tried and bottled up this green ink, it is still flowing inside the bottle. It is still like circulating and moving and creating waves in the top of the bottle that doesn't make any sense. And so, yeah, there's something weird about all this.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. Keeps shifting around in my pack and things. I have to really tuck it in.
And so, yeah, Kiva, you've kind of recovered at this point. You still have this like almost burn on your leg from where these creatures were grabbing at you, from inside the water. What is your reaction to Orlen just walking off and leaving you on the bank?
Well, I'll look around for him, and I guess I'll probably see him and the boat and the new person. So
So did you head over there? Try
yeah.
and figure out what's going on?
Yeah.
All right. As you're heading over, you can see that this waterfall is and of itself it almost looks like braided with different colors that are folding in and on themselves, and each color has a distinct fluid motion. Like the red is still this kind of chunky brackish red that is falling out, and the black is this like almost tar like consistency that is almost a solid shape. It doesn't look like it's flowing at all. But they're all crashing down into this lake and mixing together and creating this brackish rainbow that kind of spreads around before splitting off at the far end where you guys are. What is the plan now that the three of you are together? Do you want to look around for additional kind of direction? Are you guys heading out straight for the island? What's the plan? Seems like Masero has kind of got the upper hand here. He has the boat.
I've got 3 hunt tokens, so I guess I could just spend those to get to the island.
Yep, you can do that. Would you like to do that?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So narrate how you get to the island.
I guess, can we convince Masero? I mean, what does Masero like want to come with us?
Well, I mean, just to like tie this in and make it easier, maybe I don't know Orlen, but maybe I know you. Maybe I know Kiva. And when you pop out of or come down the path or whatever, I'm like, oh, hey. And I think that like smooths things over, uh, and I agree that like we can all attempt to use my watercraft if we want to. If that sounds good to you guys.
Works for me. And I guess we sail to the island.
Yeah, how do you propel yourselves through this ink? Are you poling? Do you have paddles? Are you using a ritual? There's no wind here to speak of, so those little sails aren't going to do anything.
I do not have any relevant rituals, but I have a long pole, so
I like that. So yeah, this lake is really not terribly deep, and you can actually feel the bottom pretty consistently with your hook pole, and I think that you're like reaching down and pulling up. And which end are you using? Do you put the hook down in, or are you putting the handle down in?
I think I put the handle down in.
Okay. Yeah, and every time you pull it up, it's stained a different color as you're trying to push through the water. And eventually you guys get close enough to the island where you can see that the island is covered with these what you guys have called pale men. There are these hollowed out husks of what look like they used to be humans. Their skin is pale white, almost transparent. All of the color has been drained out of them, and they are shambling around the island, and it looks like they are picking up like sticks and bones and leaves and anything else they can find on this island and piling it up in the center. And one of them is holding a lit torch.
So what do these guys look like?
They look like roughly humans, a little bit smaller and a little bit more hunched and kind of gangly, but they look both physically drained, as if their skin is like kind of sagging on loose bones and empty muscles, but also drained of any pigments or colors that there could possibly be.
These guys friends of yours, Kiva? They don't look so good.
No. So you guys continue sailing closer and closer, and after a while, some signal goes up between them, and the one with the torch walks forward and lights this pile of basically refuse on fire, and it goes up fairly quickly. The flames start to move, and everything has been piled in such a way that the flame is at one end, and this smoke is billowing through the sticks and the branches that are all lined up, and the smoke is pouring out the other side in this great black cloud. And as you watch, these other pale men are throwing themselves on top of the fire, and in themselves catching and feeding becoming fuel for this flame that is just belching black smoke out the one side, and this oozing, almost tar-like black liquid is dripping from the other into the lake.
What in all the kingdoms are these people doing?
Orlen, what is your you are a pickpocket, correct?
Yeah, lockpick. I don't know if there's a big difference.
Or yeah, so sorry. A thief in general.
Yeah.
You see glinting from the surface of this island. What do you do?
Tell me if there's still a large number of these pale men there. I think Orlen has gotten the creeps by them at least once.
There is at this point 3.
Okay.
That do not seem like they are throwing themselves on the fire. One of them was the one with the torch, who is now dropped it. And 2 others that are with it, him, her, it, I don't know. And the 3 of them seem to be like ferrying this river of this black liquid and kind of guiding it down into the lake.
Interesting. All right. That torch is still lit and is on the ground?
The torch was thrown into the fire.
Oh, okay. Shucks. Well, I think we have to get onto this island. There's something of value here. I'd prefer not to swim. If you can ferry me a little closer, I can get there. Just
Yeah, is the shoreline like blocked with this pyre, or can we land?
So the pyre itself is pretty high up. It's almost at the peak of this island. It's the difficulty is going to be that it's very steep. So the island itself is this almost kind of rocky, craggy shape that is just spiking out of the middle of this lake.
Well, yeah, I'll try and use the claw end of this thing to like grab onto a rock and like pull us in closer.
Yeah. So you guys spent your hunt token, so you guys get onto the island, no problem.
Well, it's a good thing I brought this rope. Let me see here. I can't remember what all the backpack items are. I'm sure there are stuff for climbing, and so Orlen's a resourceful young man. I'm sure he would have brought something like that. Let's see here. This is going to take a moment. I think it's time to strap on the crampons. And
okay.
Let me see. Wooden stakes. We've got iron spikes. Ooh, iron spikes. Yeah, I think Orlen may have brought a number of iron spikes, and he, I think, might start using those alongside a bit of rope as ad hoc climbing equipment to sort of start
clambering your way up. Yeah, that's great. So you manage to kind of one by one, hand by hand, clamber your way up the side. Is anybody else coming with him, or is it just Orlen that's going up?
No, I mean, I'm climbing up. There's supposed to be treasure around here.
Yeah, I'll head up too.
Are we in a new set yet, or are we still finishing up the set we were on?
Yeah, so there's no risk rolls here. So you guys are able to get up there no problem. And the top of this, just below the peak of this island, there's kind of a flat spot where the pyre has been built and these creatures are moving around. And Orlen, you kind of poke your head up and see these 3 creatures on the far side of this almost plateau, working diligently to kind of ferry this liquid wherever it needs to go, whatever they're doing. And you see evidence of more of these pyres having been built in various spots. There's these small piles of ash all over the place on top of this island. And those were what was glinting, because you can see small bits of metal, something, that are poking out of the different piles. So I am actually going to ask that we take a quick break right here. This seems like a decent spot for it. So 5 minutes work for you guys? Okay. I will see you all back in 5 minutes.